Yeah, so we're ready. So what are we going to talk about?
Sorry, man. It was too sincere. Guys, guys, you got anything?
Hey, welcome to episode 107 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Severn
Yo.
and Blake.
Hey.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's going well.
Good.
How you doing, Nick?
Yeah, pretty good. You guys been playing anything?
Yeah, a little bit. Everyone's just looking at
Yeah.
this.
So here's, we've all just been talking a little bit before the podcast about how we haven't got a whole lot to talk about this episode because we've been playing mostly games we've played before, or we haven't been playing much at all.
Yeah.
But Severn, it sounds like you got some stuff.
Yeah, not a huge amount of
You
stuff.
say that so hopingly. Oh, Severn, here's
So hope you got an hour
someone
to fill.
to save us.
Yeah, not a huge amount that I've played. I went on to Grand Theft Auto again last.
Oh boy.
You know-
Oh, yes.
You know what? That spinning wheel, the daily, the mechanic.
The what? Oh, okay.
the
Yeah.
daily
yeah, yeah,
mechanic to,
sure. So you spin a wheel inside the casino?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you have to wait another 24 hours in order to spin it again.
And you always get a prize?
Yeah, you always get a prize.
Nice.
Man, that's got me, man.
Is it addicting?
Well, it's good because I'll just I'll be on my computer.
Yeah.
And I'll have like 5 minutes to kill, and so I'll just load this
So you
thing up.
spend 20 minutes loading GTA up.
It only takes a couple minutes.
Wow.
But yeah, I'll do that, and I'm usually spawning outside of the casino. I'll walk right in.
Wow. What if, man, wouldn't it be cool if there was just an app that just was spinning that wheel?
That would be cool.
But it was plugged into, your Rockstar thing, so like
that would be cool.
it's like a companion
So
app.
I didn't have to
So you
load
didn't
the
have to
game.
log in. You can just be like, oh, and it'll give you a notification. Hey, how about spinning that wheel? And you're like,
Yeah.
yes.
I'd be down for that.
Because World of Warcraft has companion apps for like the auction house and sending because they've got these mission things in like some of the
the
the follower
Legion-
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
follower
you can
stuff.
send
Yeah,
followers
yeah,
off
yeah.
to do these like missions and stuff, and there's an app for that you just like
Man,
you
there's
don't
a
even
lot
have to log in, and you just go send this guy there, send this guy there.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be real keen on that.
yeah.
I know they could do it, so
Now, have you played many games with a daily mechanic like that?
only the mobile games that I've played.
Right. Because
The
it's
Switch-
quite common to have some sort of randomized daily mechanic. So
Oh, Candy Crush has it.
there's a bunch. There's a whole bunch that have like
Yeah,
sort of see what you get every day.
yeah.
So
Candy
it's
Crush's
interesting
one was
that
like
that GTA has adopted that.
Mm.
It's a very mobile mechanic is the way.
Well,
I think
works, man.
yeah.
it's very MMO to me.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, a lot of
'Cause
MMOs have daily things like
A lot
that.
of MMOs have dailies. You
Yeah,
hear all the time. I always hear people being, they'll be saying about World of Warcraft. I'm like, oh, you play World of Warcraft? And they're like, nah, man, I just log on and do my dailies.
What are they?
Daily quests.
Yeah, just daily
although-
quests.
And
That's
so
always
I
pop
want
up.
to make this distinction here. Blake's talking about daily quests, which are quests that refresh.
They're like
every day.
missions, yeah,
Yes.
and they're always changing.
Yes. And there's a
Sometimes
certain
they're
limit.
they're often the same. They're probably on a like rotation of types of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're generally the same.
Yeah. Whereas what Severn is talking about is you log in and you get a reward, basically a random reward
Yeah.
Right.
for just logging in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there is I want to make that distinction because they are two different things that serve different purposes.
Hmm.
There are dailies.
Yeah.
There are things that
Yeah.
you can do that you'll get rewarded for in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. So
And
there's
then once
daily
you-
missions.
Yeah, once you reach that cap, like you have to wait.
right
the next day in
but
order
this
to-
wheel is just a thing you can do daily.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like here's your daily allotted income,
Right.
basically.
Spin the wheel.
So I spun it yesterday.
Yeah. What'd
Uh-huh.
you get?
I got freaking experience points, which is like maybe it sucks. Doesn't really do anything. Getting higher levels just mean you can buy cooler shit.
Right, but you need that money,
Yeah, you do need
and
money.
you don't have any money
No, but I've got experience, man.
because you
You got paid in experience.
Yeah. And then my
At
buddy,
least you didn't land on the exposure.
my buddy comes in.
Oh no.
My buddy comes in, spins a wheel, wins a car.
Ah,
The freaking display car, which is rotating in the foyer of this
oh my
casino.
god! Did he just
It's a-
hop in that car in the foyer, just drive off?
Just drives
Yeah.
through the casino. That's how he gets around now.
Well, it's
It's
GTA,
like,
isn't
hey,
it?
you want to play some blackjack?
Yeah.
So he had that, so I was pretty jealous. And
What's the biggest thing you've won on that wheel?
50 grand, I think.
Oh, okay, that's not much.
How
right?
far does that go in GTA?
was that? A lot?
It goes pretty far. I could
Uh.
put it towards my my nightclub that I've got.
Yeah.
I get
Uh-huh.
some lights in there.
Man,
50 grand gets you just lights?
They're different lights, but it attracts
Moths.
no,
Oh.
you know, like disco lights, like strobe lights. and
Oh,
stuff
Oh,
like that.
it
not
attracts funky moths.
just lights, just light bulbs.
not
$2
like
light
energy
bulbs.
saving light bulbs or anything.
Yeah, these light bulbs are hooked into Wi-Fi, and they change with your
They're
mood.
just fluorescent.
Yeah.
They make a humming noise.
Yeah.
One of them blinks a little bit because it's not plugged in properly.
Did a bit of that. I'm actually on the eve of Control coming out next week.
Oh,
Control.
wow.
So I've talked a little
that
bit
was
about
the
Control.
like psychic looking
yeah.
telekinesis.
Oh yeah,
That
the
came out,
next Remedy game.
That came out fast. I just assumed. I didn't even like see what the release date was. I just expected it to be like next year or
Yeah,
something.
people are talking about it. I upgraded my machine.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And yeah, so I'm just looking forward to that.
Nice.
The one game I get to play this year.
Well, you upgraded your PC.
Yeah,
What
that,
did you
that
do?
that was fun
What did you
too.
get?
I went AMD.
Okay.
Really?
Like yeah,
Graphics
for the
card?
first time in like 15 years.
Huh.
So that was
That's
cool.
because like they're the only ones now actually trying to push the envelope, right?
No, I
trying
think I think Intel wants to do good as well.
I've heard that they've hit sort of some of the technical walls,
Mm.
like and it's very hard now at this point to get more onto a chip of the size that is required,
Mm.
and
I've heard
AMD
something
is
similar.
still trying to do weird experimental stuff.
Yeah, and these current chips are really good.
Yeah.
So it's like the Ryzen 7 CPUs. Anyway, I picked one of those up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did this whole thing myself. I was very proud of it.
Really? Did you
Fir-
put the
first
paste
time-
on and everything, or was
It
that?
was pre-pasted.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Man. So
I
that was
hate
cool.
it. I hate it. If you have to put the paste on, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, they had a I was a little confused because I thought that there would be a little a little plastic knife
Right.
thing and
Yeah.
and the little toothpaste bottle
Yeah, it's been. When was the last time you built a computer?
4 years before.
Okay. For the most part, I think at this point, at least the last decade or so, that most CPUs come with the paste, and you can add more paste, and a lot of people, for whatever reason, recommend that you add more paste, but I don't think it's that necessary.
What do you mean come with paste?
Like it comes with the heat dispersing.
It's already.
Yeah,
put
the
together.
chip has I think it's the heatsink itself that has the paste on it, and you put the chip in, and then you put the heatsink on, and
Yeah.
and you're done basically.
Yeah, so this was different where like you looked at the bottom of the heatsink and it just had this plastic almost like a screen protector thing on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you
right.
just peel that away. And that weirded me out because I was expecting to see all that stuff in next to the CPU or next to the cooler.
Right.
But yeah, it was pre-applied.
Yeah.
Put that thing right in there.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and it works.
Nice.
What graphics card did you get?
Oh, I didn't upgrade the graphics card. I'm
What
on the
graphics card have you
Ooh.
got?
I've got a 1080 Ti.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Is that's
that's
not
not-
one of the ray trace ones, right?
No,
What, that's 3 years old, maybe.
2 years old. Well, I brought it 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um,
So
But
that's,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
the 2080 Ti is the one I want to get.
Yep.
But man, the price of that.
Does that
Yes.
cost the price of your whole computer
Yeah, it's
again?
It ends
it's
up being like half the
too-
cost
Yeah,
of, of the whole machine or
it's
something.
$2,200.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Which is a
Wow,
lot of
that's
money.
so much.
Far out.
Yeah, that's like 4
That's-
PlayStations.
Wow. Just get 4 PlayStation.
Just use
hook
that
them all
cell
up.
processor and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, hook them all up, and then
Yeah.
you can launch like missiles or something.
yeah, you could fold at home.
I know that if Red Dead comes out, there's a reason for me to get a 2080 Ti.
Oh yeah.
But it would take Red Dead in order for me to jump on that. Like a
Oh,
PC
man.
version of Red Dead.
Yeah,
I
Is
would
that the
love to
only game?
Yeah.
What about like a mate of mine bought a new graphics card recently, and it came with Anthem.
Yeah.
You could get a AAA game
How,
for
oh
free.
boy, how disappointed would you be?
Yep.
It comes with a free game. It's Anthem.
It's
Yeah.
Anthem. You're saying that's the only reason he played it because it was free. for Anthem.
Man.
Thing is, I wouldn't even download that.
Yeah.
If I if I
You
got
just
that
had
game.
a Steam or whatever gift.
Yep.
Someone sent you that, and you're
it
like,
comes on the hard drive and you just erase it.
yeah, taking up room.
Oh, sweet, free hard drive.
This is Red Dead space it's taken up.
Yeah, so that's happening. I'll have stuff to talk about next time related to Control, but for now,
yeah.
I've just been animating and doing the side project.
How
stuff.
was your side project going?
Good. I did some lip syncing this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun, man.
What are you lip syncing to? This podcast? Is that?
No, no. I'm gonna record dialogue. You know how you make a rig and then you just want to test to see whether or not your rig's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just testing the face rig.
Cool.
It seems okay.
Nice.
Any
When
more-
are we going to hear more about what the game as a whole is?
Dude, there's so much art to make. So when the art gets better,
So 2 weeks from now,
no, dude,
next episode,
it's gonna be.
the big reveal.
I'm saying like maybe a year out. My prediction.
You heard it here first, folks. The next episode is a year out, at least.
the
No.
next episode. Then we come up. What have you been playing in the last year? Oh, not much.
Oh, no.
Not much.
Hearthstone.
No Man's Sky. I'm still on that marathon game of Civ.
That's so oh god.
We had an argument yesterday because we were hanging out after work on Friday, and Nick just came in and just unloaded a rant at me and
Oh, my
other
goodness.
people, anyone within earshot, about
Were you
how I
drinking?
play Civ
No,
wrong.
You weren't
I was
drinking?
100% sober.
He was high on anger.
I was riding that anger high.
Yep.
I find the whole idea of the endless Civ game infuriating.
And you just opened with that?
Because
Yeah, he just came in.
Saw
We got a lot
you.
of problems with
here's the thing. Okay.
I've been stewing on this for 2 weeks.
Let's go through this again. You've turned off all of the win conditions,
Yep.
right? Why?
Because I don't like looking at them.
Right. You don't like looking at the standings they show.
I also, yeah.
So it's like you're playing Mario Kart and you don't like that it shows what position you're in, so you take away the finish line. And then you just drive in laps forever.
They're not the same
It's
type
the
of
same
game.
I kind of get why Blake turned them off. Because you want to just do your own thing.
Yeah.
But okay, what's the goal?
The goal is just to like play
See
the
where you
game.
go.
No, it's not a game at that point. It's just a toy. There's no goal anymore. There's no win condition.
This is the thing. This
Okay, let's say someone just said, "Oh, let's go to this football match."
yeah.
It's two teams playing against each other. Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah. Here's the thing. No goalposts.
What? That's
They-
just
what-
a,
what
just
they
a
do
giant
is they-
wrestling match.
they,
then.
they pass the ball to each other and they just sort of run up and down for a while.
until the
and then you
audience
could-
gets until
yeah.
the players get
You
bored.
can watch as long as you want and then you just leave whenever.
Man, what was great was that how many people around us on Friday were defending me, and I don't think
Oh, that's
anybody was like on Nick's side about this.
That's because that
You
room
came
was
in too hot.
That room was full of idiots. It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
They're not the same type of game. Well,
Obviously they're not the same type of game. One of them has an ending.
the thing is, if I could not show those, like,
I'm
those
sure
stats,
I'm sure you can find a mod.
then I would leave them on.
I'm
But because like I couldn't figure out how to not show them, unless maybe there was a mod somewhere that I could do. I was just
but
like,
even
turn
if
them
there's
all off.
not a mod,
Yeah.
just don't look at them.
I can't. It's there. I'm just the button for the panel is there. And I'm like, I wonder where I'm at. I think I'm doing pretty well. But what if I'm not? What if I'm not doing well? What if everyone's ahead of me? What if I'm last? And I look.
So
and then,
your solution to that is now there's no last place.
This
There's
is-
no first place. It's just people doing things forever.
it's like everyone gets a trophy type of.
Yeah. Except it's not even that. It's like everyone's
Everyone's
stuck doing the thing. No one wins anything.
But also, like these Civ is a very Civ and games like it are a very particular type of game that go on so long that very rarely do I ever actually finish a game. Like we've played Stellaris a lot. We've never actually finished.
yeah,
a
that's not
game.
my fault. I wanted to finish a game. People, it's just when you're playing with 18 different people.
Yeah, but
And
I've
everyone's like, "Let's start again."
I've never any 4X game.
Oh.
I've never ever finished. I
What?
get
Never.
no. I've never
finished a
beaten
game of
one.
Civ.
No, I always get to a point where I go, yeah, I'm done with this, and that's the same with Stellaris. You always get to a point where you go, yeah, I feel like I've won.
Jeez.
But you haven't won.
See, this also
That's different.
this also
like-
exposes this also exposes.
I'm coming to 8th in Mario Kart.
I'm done with this.
Halfway through lap 2. I think I've won. This feels good. I'll turn it off here.
But this exposes the difference between your like types of games that you play and mine, because I like things like Minecraft and like No Man's Sky that have no like set win conditions, and you like games that clearly do have very
Yeah,
set, like
I do.
Hearthstone. Like you can't just play an endless game of Hearthstone.
But
like,
I also, no, you know what? I love open world games. Zelda, for
Yeah.
example. I mean,
but they're
then
very
again,
structured. There's a
they-
very clear end.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
There's a goal.
Yeah.
And there's also the
See, like,
freedom
in-
to do whatever you want.
In like Minecraft,
I want both.
in Minecraft, or even in No Man's
Minecraft
Sky.
has an end.
Not really though. You
It's called the end.
yeah, but you keep playing afterwards. It doesn't actually.
It rolls the credits.
Does it?
I think
never.
so.
I've never gone there.
I think if you beat the dragon,
Yeah.
then it shows credits.
Well, didn't they add that for Xbox? Because there was like some condition for Xbox that your game has to
this
have an
was-
end.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, I
that-
think they
that-
did add that for Xbox.
I didn't know there was a dragon, so this is all.
Yeah, there's
new to me.
there's this whole like it's
It's a big void black area with like a few platforms to land. And
yeah, and there's a
and you
dragon.
have to shoot a
flying
dragon
around.
that's trying to bite your head off, basically.
But like beating the dragon is not really the point of Minecraft.
it's called the end, Blake.
Yeah, okay. See, again, like you just want to play games that have a very defined end with
I think
win
it's important.
conditions.
I think
And-
it's important for most games to have a defined end state.
I think I just like to experience stuff.
Hey, you know what?
Like
No Man's Sky has a goal,
yeah, but it's fucking not really.
but it has one.
Not really.
It's got more than none, right? It doesn't just say
it's got
Yeah,
a
you land on a planet and then you just hang out.
it's not
your
that.
Sean Murray
Yeah,
impersonation
it's
there.
just you build a base and then
I was thinking Ernie.
Ernie, yeah.
It's there's stuff to do. There's a place to go.
Yeah, but no okay.
Even if the ending isn't good, it's still an ending.
With No Man's Sky, the goal is to get to the center of the galaxy. And
There you go.
And you know what happens when you get to the center?
Yeah, it puts you back on the rim.
It
or
puts you
whatever.
back in another galaxy, and you got to get to
Yeah,
the center
no.
of that galaxy. And then when you get to the center of that galaxy, you're in a new galaxy, and you got to get to the center of that galaxy. It's
Yep.
just this never-ending circle. So
Yeah,
it's not really
no,
an end.
It's
not,
bad, but they've given you a goal. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a good goal, but there's a goal. Whereas you're like, I wanna build farms forever. I wanna settle more land until there's no more land to settle,
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
and then what?
What
I
do you
just
have
turn it
against-
off.
No, I just invent a new goal. I just keep inventing new goals for myself until I feel like I'm done.
Infuriating.
I'll
Just no, I hate it. No, it's fine.
it just shows the different play styles that you and me have.
Okay.
Like I've always throughout this whole we've been doing this whole podcast, I'm
Yeah.
always playing these damn games that basically have no end.
Yeah, it's infuriating. If you think Blake needs to play a real video game, email frenzyquest@gmail.com. The headline should just be "Play real game, Blake." Okay. I want to talk a little bit about something. This a video came out this week. I'm pretty excited about
A video.
a video. It's a preview or an announcement of a game that is entering early access next year.
Do I know about this?
Mount and Blade 2.
Oh yeah, you linked me this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've,
Hell yeah.
You mistakenly linked me it. as
Yeah.
well.
I said to Severin, this looks pretty cool. And he is like, okay.
No, I said you weren't meant to send me this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't think it looks good.
Not at all.
Why?
Listeners have to just load up. What is it called? Banner Saga?
yeah. Well, let's link it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banner something. There's a banner in the subtitle. It's it looks good to me.
Okay.
Like, okay, look, there's some janky animations. You know, it's not like cutting edge graphically, but it's not bad graphically.
Does
It's
it-
certainly a lot better than the original Mountain Blade.
What's the goal, Nick?
The goal is to raise an army and conquer the world. It's cool as heck. You know what? I played a lot of the original Mountain Blade games, and like probably 80 plus hours.
Yeah.
I never beat them, but you know what?
Interesting.
I was
Yeah,
I was
interesting.
getting
You ever-
I was getting close to
Did
the
you ever
goal.
get to a point where you're like, yeah, I've done enough?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
But there was still an end goal. There was still a win condition. It was
Right.
to conquer the world,
Hmm.
and it's just really, really hard to do in that game because
What's the world? The whole world? Or
it
just
depends
like
on the version.
Europe or something?
In one of the versions I played, it was medieval Poland in the surrounding countries.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's dope as heck. Absolutely looking forward to that game.
Would you want to play it forever? What if you had a game? What if it just went on forever?
I would probably say no, thank you.
Wait, do you have a game that you could play forever? Because I've heard of these.
Hearthstone.
There are these. What would you say? These things people throw out, and they're just like, if you were trapped on a desert island
Right.
with
Yeah.
this video game,
Tricky. Yeah.
have you thought about it?
Tetris is probably up there.
Yeah,
Tetris is a wonderful game that
the Game Boy version of Tetris.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like the classic Tetris.
Yep.
Just because I don't know if you've played Tetris recently, but that game really stands up.
I have it.
You haven't?
I have it
Oh,
on my actual Game Boy.
yeah. Have you
Yeah.
played it recently?
Not recently, no.
I remember when I moved to the U.S. and I was living in this terrible cold bedroom that flooded,
Mm.
and was covered in ants all the time.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Ants love cold water.
Well, that's the thing. It would rain outside, and so the ants would come in, and then the
Oh.
walls would flood, and the ants would get washed out.
Circle of life.
It was not a great place to live. But to keep myself busy, I was playing Game Boy Tetris on the Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance SP,
Mhm.
which and you know that was like 2009. Still a great game. Like at that point, that cartridge was probably nearly 20 years old,
Wow.
and it's still really, really good.
It is
So-
good. When I think of Tetris, I think of that first Game Boy Tetris.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the best-selling games of all time,
Yeah.
mainly because it came with the Game Boy.
I watched a really cool documentary basically about Tetris. I should link that because it's really interesting.
What's it called?
I can't remember, but it was talking about how like the guy that made it was just like working at a university and he just made it,
Yeah.
and because it was like communist Russia at the time.
Yeah,
The government was like, this is ours.
Yeah, you don't own this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made very little money off
And
it,
there was
essentially.
yeah, and he didn't earn any money on really make any money on it until like way after.
Yeah.
But like there was this interesting time I think in the 80s where people were claimed that they had the rights to Tetris when they didn't, and they were making money off the rights that they didn't have.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah, there's a bunch of different Tetris games from the 80s that are not Tetris.
yeah, and
They
the
use
only
Tetris name.
the only company that actually went to Russia to get the rights, the proper rights, was Nintendo.
Yeah.
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 And it's I don't know, it's just interesting. I read.
Nintendo's pretty cool.
Okay.
Is that the moral of your story, Blake?
I guess it is. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was saying it was a cool documentary to watch, but if you want to be like, yeah, Nintendo's like,
Yep. Nintendo's pretty cool.
yep, okay, that's what you take away from it.
Yeah. King
Yep.
of Kong.
Yep.
Another good Nintendo themed documentary.
Yep.
There's a Smash Brothers documentary. It's pretty good.
The Smash Brothers one is cool.
The YouTube one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
fantastic.
that was the one you told me about.
Yeah, I watched it twice.
I think
What's
I
that one
watched-
called for listeners?
We'll have to link it. I
Ah,
don't even
yeah,
know
yeah.
what it's
Yeah.
called. I just have it saved.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
on,
man, let's-
on my
this is-
channel.
Listeners are going to get so many links to these documentaries that.
Talking about Smash Brothers, we have been watching at home competitive Super Smash Brothers Ultimate matches, and that game is watchable as hell.
Is it?
It's so much fun to watch. Even so, Carrie does not like playing Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But we will watch hours of those matches, and it's so exciting.
Are they the Evo matches that happened? I know Evo happened like week
I
or two
think
ago?
one of them we watched was Evo, but
Mm.
like there was some Super Smash Con matches. There were some from I don't even remember. But there's a bunch of different large Smash Brothers tournaments in the last year,
Mm.
and with good commentators and a good like people not like cutting away to like player faces all the time.
Mm.
It's so much fun to watch those games just because the format itself is so inherently watchable and understandable.
Mm.
It's two characters beating each other up,
Mm.
Yeah.
and it stays exciting until the end because the goal is to knock someone off the stage. It's not to like end the health bar, so you don't know who's going to win until it's over.
Mhm.
And it's just so satisfying. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's funny when esports do cut to the players' faces because they're never exciting.
It's because
It's only
gamer
at the end
face.
when they lose, and I like to see the loser just be like, "Oh no."
Gamer face is just the worst
Yeah,
thing to watch.
Never cut to it. It's boring.
Yeah,
There's no emotion.
yeah. The emotion is concentration.
Yeah.
It's no one's like, yeah, no, it's bad.
Maybe this is a pro tip now that like if you want to stand out as an esports competitor, just have an interesting like concentration face. Stick your tongue out, look real weird, and then
Yeah,
people will
go
always
cross-eyed.
people will always be cutting to you because they're like, oh, what? And you'll get you become known.
Do that wave thing with your eyebrows the whole time.
Yeah, man, if you could just do that.
Yeah, if you could do that, you're gonna become the biggest Smash star in the world.
Yeah. Doesn't even
You
matter
don't
how
think-
good you are at the
Yeah,
game.
you don't think being good at
No.
Smash
It's
If
all
you
about
can't be good at the
eyebrows.
game, yeah.
It's about those eyebrows.
Practice the rock eyebrow, and then
If you can switch between those
oh man,
eyebrows.
or just show up with face paint on.
Yeah, dress up like Pikachu.
Yeah, people will be cutting to you constantly.
Yeah.
This is a way in that this is a unexplored part of like esports. I think is
Just dressing up
yeah,
and doing stuff with
like
your face,
I mean,
making yourself
wrestlers become like a wrestler persona.
There'll be storylines between the matches.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Man,
Well,
I should be
actually,
a
you know what?
manager of a team.
I've been watching Glow a lot lately. Did you
Oh,
know
yeah.
Glow?
Is it good? I've
It's really good. Yeah, absolutely. You should watch Glow if you don't watch Glow. But I can see that working for video games, kind of. Yeah.
yeah, you get those
Yeah.
because
I can see that.
like in all seriousness, when I used to watch like the GSL, the StarCraft stuff, the most interesting matches were the ones that had like two sort of personalities, like
Who'd
like-
they'd been like trash talking
yeah,
each
who'd
other.
been trash
and
talking
lead
each
up.
other and like
Yeah.
making videos about it, and that was always the most interesting matches, like just like in wrestling.
Are you a wrestling fan, Blake?
No, I did listen to the Steve Austin podcast where he had Hulk Hogan on.
Stone Cold?
Yeah,
I didn't even know he had a.
yeah, he just started a podcast, and
Okay.
it's funny, they're just talking about like stuff from back in the day, but so much of it is about how they respect each other and how they respect other wrestlers so much. And it's like they just have so much respect for everyone.
Wow.
And it's just like an hour and a half of like talking about how much respect they have.
Yes.
It's great.
That sounds like it might be the most boring podcast.
It's really good. No, it's really good because it goes through like Hulk Hogan's like whole history of like stuff you didn't like. He started off thinking that wrestling was like actually properly real.
Uh-huh.
Like, not
Hulk
like
Hogan?
yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what are you
And
saying?
He was going in. He
Hang
was
on,
going
hang on,
into these
hang on, hang
matches
on.
trying to win.
What are
he
you
didn't,
saying?
He didn't know that there was like a performance to it, and like the wrestlers are actually like working together, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He went in there trying to win,
Yeah.
and he reckons that all the older wrestlers will come out and watch his matches and just be like, "What is this guy doing?"
But you're saying that it's not real?
Sorry, Nick.
Whoa.
I mean, it's real. Like it's happening in real life. Like people are
yeah,
getting
but they're
hurt,
like punching each other.
but
really
it's
hard
not
and
like
stuff.
the two wrestlers. They're in on it.
Well, yeah, of course they're.
They're
I mean, of
working.
course
They're working
in-
together. They're working together. They're not. It's not
No.
like a boxing match where they're trying to beat each other. They're
Well,
trying to put on a good show. They usually know who's going to win
This is
before the
this is
start of the match.
unbelievable. I don't. No way. No way.
Sorry, Nick.
If watching 2.5 seasons of Glow has taught me anything, it's all real.
It's all real. Yep. No, it is, Nick. It's all real.
On and off the
yeah,
stage.
yeah, it's all real.
There's drama.
Santa Claus is real as well. Don't let anyone tell you that he's
Knew
not.
it.
Yep.
I freaking knew it. All right. Have you guys got anything else to talk about?
I'm playing, man. I'm playing No Man's Sky again. They had a
Yeah, I saw they had an update.
yeah.
What brought you back?
Well, I haven't-
Was it the allure of no goals?
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I keep an eye on that game, and every couple like expansions, I'll be like, what's going on with this now?
Is it just that part of you inside is dead?
Well, that just goes for
and
life
you
in
just,
general.
You
like-
just wanna is this some form of self harm?
No, I enjoy it a lot, but it is that thing of like my goal, I guess, is the thing is I want to get to the center, but I don't want to go into the center. I want to just like because the center I figure is where a lot of the community has like congregated,
Right.
and there is a actual like they call it a galactic hub, and it's where a lot of players, a few systems where a lot of players have like congregated and build bases and stuff like that. So I want to get there.
Cool.
So I'm just making my way there, just checking out planets and stuff. And they've got like
Have you been naming them?
not really. I've given up naming.
Aww.
That was. It's funny when No Man's Sky first came out. That was definitely like my feelings of that declined, and it showed in the naming. Because I was very much when I first started, name everything. I named all the animals, named some plants, and like especially the planets. Named all the planets, and then slowly I was just like, I don't want to name the plants anymore. I don't want to name the animals anymore. And then eventually I'm like, I don't fucking want to name the planets anymore. Forget there's endless amount of these things.
That is so okay. You're making your way to the center.
Yeah.
Why?
For-
What
like,
brought you back this time?
What was the dude? It was the update, and I wanted to see what they've added because they were saying it was their biggest update, and I was like, all right, I want to see what they added.
What do they have?
Well, it's kind of a bummer because in a way, because they're like their biggest update, but a huge part of it is VR. And that's why it's like their biggest update because they've made
biggest. They're talking storage space.
yeah, they've made these huge overhaul to the whole game, like to accommodate VR. Like
Yeah.
the ships are way bigger than they used. Like, well, not way bigger, quite a bit bigger than they used to be. The cockpit is bigger. Things have been like added more detail and stuff like that. But it's mainly like a huge part of this update is for VR. So that's why they're saying it's their biggest because there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Sure.
But then they've also added like the main thing that interested me was that they added a hub town where you can see players running around.
Did they not have that before?
No, players are running around. I got so many people waving at me. It was great.
Finally.
Yeah, well,
this is
before-
what I dreamed of.
Before I had that story where I landed on a planet and I turned around and there was a guy behind me and he waved at me and then flew off and I was like, wow, this game's amazing. And now I go to that town and there's just people waving at me like every minute.
Oh man.
Is that the only way you can emote?
Wave.
Yeah.
There's lots of emotes, but for some reason wave is just the one that everyone picks. And the thing is I never wave back because
You badass.
Because this is your world.
yeah. No, because
I'm
like
in charge.
anytime someone waves at me, I'm like, oh shit, how do I get to my emotes? Where are they? And I never use them
Uh-huh.
because it's usually just me alone on a planet.
Yeah.
I've got no reason to wave to anything.
So there's these people who are waving at you, and then you just stand there staring
Yes.
at them, dead-eyed,
Yes.
and then they wave again.
And then they
and then
eventually
you just like slowly walk towards them, and they
yeah,
leave.
yeah. But it's cool, like you see all their ships parked, so you can look at people's ships and stuff. And there's like new vendors. There's like there's a cooking. There's like a whole cooking like system happening now that I haven't even engaged with.
What does it do?
I have no idea. I don't know what cooking does. I usually don't like cooking in games.
Oftentimes when games add a mechanic like cooking, it makes the game worse because they also add hunger,
Yeah, no, there's no hunger.
and then it's like, oh, now I have to.
There's
like,
no hunger.
worry about more stuff.
I do like games that have cooking where the cooking is just basically gives you a buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Zelda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Zelda's cooking system is pretty.
Zelda's
good. Although
cooking system is really good. It's like one of the few games I've actually enjoyed their cooking system.
the one thing I don't like about it is how you have to pick out ingredients.
Right.
You've got this big menu. You select the ingredients. What ends up happening is Link is now holding the ingredients physically in his hands.
Yeah.
And you have to walk over to like a cooking pot and use them.
Mm.
Or if you're standing by the cooking pot, you just press the button. But like, I would much rather just like select from the UI
All in the menu.
and then immediately have it go to the cooking. Like,
But that's part of their whole like everything is happening in
yes,
the world.
I,
you know?
I understand why they did it,
Yeah.
and I love Zelda, but that is it for like a long term playability thing. There is just a little too much user interface.
Yeah. It's just that. Yeah, I get it. It's just that thing of like when you've done that 100 times.
Yeah,
you're
it's
just
like how
"Oh."
often are you gonna if you're gonna cook all the time? This
Yeah.
becomes laborious.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
And you can't do a bunch of like batches of things at the same time.
Yeah, it's all one at a time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's one dish.
That's why they should have had, bigger cooking pots, and you're just like, hey, you can put, 5 times as many ingredients in here, and you get 5 dishes out of it.
Yeah,
That's
I'd be fine with that.
yeah.
But instead, no.
But I said nope, one at a time. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you about No Man's Sky. Like I've said it all before. There's like I just check in every once in a while, and I enjoy playing it.
Uh-huh.
Like I seriously do, and I don't know how I can describe why I enjoy it.
Is it because there's nothing to do?
It's just this like
There's no
endless journey.
it's
I
because
like
there's
the
no
endless.
reason for
I
you to
like the
play.
journey. I like the journey. That's it. That's
To where?
to the Galactic Hub. That's where I want to head.
Is there a galactic hub in Civ 6?
Oh my god.
All right. Severn, you got anything else?
Blake, Desert Island video game.
Oh man,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
This is actually good. This is a good question.
Yeah.
Because
Ooh, man, what would it be?
I know what mine is.
Okay. Let's hear. Let's let Blake think of his. What's yours?
Yeah.
Well, mine's it's a couch answer. Like it's Red Dead right now.
Not GTA.
It'd be Red Dead.
That is interesting. Even okay, but like single player?
Yeah, I'd take the whole game if I could.
Okay.
But yeah,
Why Red Dead and not GTA?
it's beautiful. I feel like I could play that a whole bunch of times.
So you're on a desert island,
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful desert island,
Oh, yeah, I'd probably do activities on Desert Island too.
but and so you choose the game that is visually your favorite
Mm.
rather than the one filled with things to do.
There are things to do.
Okay. Well, yeah, there are, sure, but I don't know. In terms of longevity,
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of people played through the Red Dead campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and then were like, "Yeah, I thought this was gonna be better."
Shit. Okay. I still think it's one of the best. Someone said it that Rockstar can write some really memorable characters, and
Rockstar does
they
have
can
good writing.
they can definitely do this. John Marston, one of the good video game guys.
Well put.
And yeah, this new guy too. Sorry, they're like very memorable video game characters.
Uh-huh. What's the new guy?
Yeah, the whole
Arthur Morgan.
the
Yeah.
whole cast, right? Like Dutch and everyone is like,
Oh yeah, that cast is ridiculous.
yeah, they can't.
But
great.
the content is. I'm baffled whenever I play that game.
Mm.
So yeah, that'd be my game.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Blake,
I
I swear to God, if it's No Man's Sky,
I'm not gonna say. I was thinking, was it No Man's Sky? But it's like, no, I know what I'm like with No Man's Sky. I'll get tired of it after like a month or two, and then not play until another couple of expansions.
Yeah.
So I think, man, maybe World of Warcraft.
I was gonna predict yours would be World of
Yeah.
Warcraft. Yeah.
Shit.
I haven't played World of Warcraft in so long.
What if you can't socialize?
Oh.
I was under the assumption that this.
I play World of Warcraft in a very single player way anyway.
I was under the assumption that this desert island had spotty Wi-Fi at best.
Oh, okay. Well, man, so it's. I mean, yeah, if you can't socialize, then it's an empty game, and for the most part, I'm okay with that. Except for like dungeons, you just
Yeah, you
couldn't
can't
do.
do
You just
dungeons.
couldn't do dungeons.
I mean, unless you like 5 box them.
oh, So I've got like
Yeah, you're on a desert island with 5 PCs.
yeah.
All.
Um.
You can't even connect to the Blizzard servers. You can't play World of Warcraft.
Well, no. If you can connect to you've got internet that can only do a very specific thing
specific-
and nothing else, and also
Okay.
can't like show other players for some reason.
and you definitely can't like email for help.
yeah.
Help! I'm on this desert island.
Yeah.
I've already eaten 4
Yeah.
copies of World of
You
Warcraft.
just have one wire that goes all the way to Blizzard's like like servers and cannot be.
It's in their basement and no one checks.
Yeah.
it, so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no,
All right.
I don't
World of Warcraft.
I don't
Yeah,
like
sure,
this.
no,
I don't
no,
like
no.
this idea of like you're putting rules on what the game is, because like World of Warcraft, the game is other players.
Sure, but
Right.
you're on a desert island.
Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing.
I'm not.
I'm not-
I didn't establish the rules of a desert
I'm not.
island.
I'm not saying that I will then as soon as I log on type help. I'm on a desert island. Let's just
No, I
say.
understand
Let's just
that.
say that I'm not. For some reason I can't do that, but I can interact with players as I normally would while playing the game. Yeah, I think World of Warcraft.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like that's
Is that
feel like-
cheating somehow?
I
Are you
feel
not
like it
allowed
is
to be an
cheat-
online game?
I just feel like being online is cheating on a desert island. But you know what?
But-
I'll allow it.
It's a silly hypothetical.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you're on a desert island, you're not going to be wanting to play a fucking video game. You're wanting to get off the desert island.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where are you getting power from? If
uh,
you start questioning internet connections, you're questioning power. So what have you got? Like a generator? Have you got like solar panels? And what? Why don't you just live on the island? Who cares?
yeah. Fair point. So your favorite desert island game is living on the desert island.
Yeah.
It's a survival game, and
Yeah.
with very dire
Actually,
consequences.
that would. Yeah, it's Rust. I really want to play Rust on this desert island.
It's Ark.
It's
This is di-
Yeah.
oh dear. All right. How about we read some questions?
Did you say what yours was, Nick? I can't remember.
yeah.
Tetris.
Oh, Tetris. That's right. That's yeah.
I still stand by that as a pretty good
Yeah,
pick.
yeah. What's powering your batteries though? Where are you getting that from?
They're batteries. They power themselves.
Oh, forever? Where'd you get? You should sell this tech to Tesla. What do you?
I feel like batteries are a much more believable source of power than a full PC setup with internet.
The funny thing is,
Why are you questioning me?
I imagine it as like just a desk with a PC,
Yeah.
like in the middle of like a beach, and like the all the wires are just going into the ground, and you're just like, yep,
It goes in the ocean.
yeah.
And you're questioning the batteries,
Yes.
which are notoriously portable.
I mean,
Oh dear.
how are you recharging them? You just have oh no,
They're just batteries.
You landed.
They
you,
don't recharge.
you landed on a desert island that just has like crates and crates full of
yeah,
batteries that
it was
just
an army
washed up.
surplus storage.
Yeah, yeah, they
place,
just
and,
washed up. Yeah, and just one Game Boy with Tetris in it.
You've seen Castaway, I'm sure. Basically, I found a volleyball filled with batteries
Nice.
and a bloody handprint on it. All right, let's read some questions. If you've got any questions, by the way, you can email frenzyquestions@gmail.com or tweet at FrenzyCast or hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/FrenzyCast. There are other places to contact us. We'll go through those later. All right, this first question is quite long. I will try.
You can do it in parts if you want.
We'll go through it. This is from Fuwasan. I think many issues with each new Pokemon game comes from the need to accommodate the transfer from older games. Note that I am not very familiar with how the series evolved, as I mostly played the first two generations. For example, new evolution mechanics are neat, like the day/night cycle affecting Pokemon evolution, but become a burden on future games. So now, if they want to get rid of the day-night cycle system, they have to find an alternative way to have the concerned Pokemon evolve. Each new game having to pile on older mechanics or at least find a workaround. I mean, there's more to this question, but yeah, basically he's right.
Yeah.
And this is also a
I-
problem with any sort of game that draws upon older mechanics or in some way connects to older games.
I think from what I've heard with Pokemon, they just ignore previous like evolution-y stuff,
I
right?
sure don't.
They don't?
No, not until this coming generation.
Oh. Wait, because they had mega evolutions in one of them. Did that
Yes.
carry through to other games?
It carried through to later games.
Really?
I believe so. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it
Um,
was just in that one.
No.
game.
So for at the Mega Evolutions, I think they came out in Pokemon XY,
Yeah.
and in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, you can Mega Evolve your Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah,
Whoa, I didn't know that.
and those games are based on Pokemon Red and Blue, which are the first iteration.
Yeah.
But Mega Evolution is not like a normal evolution. It's not like
Yeah.
you evolve your Pokemon and it stays that way. It's something that happens in the course of battle
Mm.
and is a temporary thing.
It's a Digimon evolution. They're taking from Digimon.
it's
yeah.
pretty much Digimon evolution.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
also one of my least favorite Pokemon mechanics.
Yeah?
Honestly. Yeah, because what it is, it doesn't, as far as I can tell, and maybe email me and let me know how dumb I am for not seeing the tactical element here. But there doesn't seem like there's a tactical element.
It's just a power up. You're just turning Super Saiyan and then
Yeah,
being
and,
like,
and
all
you
right,
get to Mega Evolve a Pokemon once per battle,
right.
and it just stays like that until the Pokemon fades.
So there's in the new Pokemon game, they have a similar thing, but it's not an evolution. It's just like they just turn big.
Yeah. What do they call it? Dino.
Oh, something like that.
Dino size.
Dinometrics.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to Mega Evolution, except
Yeah, except
bigger.
there's no actual evolution. They just get giant.
But they also change form.
No, they don't.
They.
I don't think they do.
I think there's two different mechanics here at play.
Yeah?
There's like there's one thing that makes these things huge and different, and
Yeah.
then there's another thing that just makes these things huge. I think. I could be wrong.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
When's that game coming out? The
I
Switch.
think next year.
Okay.
I think early next year. So everyone's shrugging.
Yeah, sorry, I'm way out of the Pokemon game.
When was the last Pokemon game you played?
It's Gold, I
Oh
think.
man.
Hey.
Oh,
you-
Go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know for a fact you played Go.
Oh,
I
right.
shit. If you consider walking with this phone in my hand,
If you
playing,
consider
Hey,
that a
you
game,
make
though,
fun of it,
I
but
don't think
I
Go
think
is a
all
game.
three of us had a really good time playing though. when it
We
came
did.
yeah,
out.
but it was
And-
more
pretty good.
hanging out
and I
and walking
still
in
play
fields.
it. I still play it.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe that you still play it. I still every once in a while
Hmm.
see people playing it.
Yeah.
And just around the place.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fun thing to do while you're walking. Especially, I walk to work every day.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to podcasts.
Yep.
And if I'm not playing Pokemon Go, what am I doing? I'm just like
Walking.
walking.
I like
I like walking.
I can
Yeah.
add another element of enjoyment there.
Dude, I walked to work the other day and I'm just looking at the clouds. I was having a good time just being like, man,
Man, look at these clouds.
Look at these clouds. You got the hills, you got the
Not-
ranges
not
over there.
everyone
I'm just
can-
looking over there and be like, man,
You know what,
look
though?
at the beauty of nature in the
Blake,
suburb.
not everyone can play life with no wind conditions. Okay,
You need a goal.
I need a goal. My goal is to be the Pokemon master.
Shit. Yeah, that's quite a goal.
Yeah, I'm not there
Endless,
yet.
someone would say.
How's the
But there is a goal. There's a difference. There's
Yeah.
something to work towards.
There's an unachievable goal.
Yes,
there.
it's fine if it's unachievable, but there's still something to work towards.
Mm.
Ugh.
I think this also comes into your hatred for like pay to win stuff because it's like cheating on the goal.
Yes.
You've got this goal
Mm.
and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get there, and then if
And
you
then it's
can
like,
just pay
yeah,
to
I just
get there.
shortcut my whole way there. It's
Yeah.
because then what's the point of the goal?
Yeah, yeah.
If the goal is not to spend your money, that's the developer's goal.
Yeah.
Sure, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it probably does tie into that.
Yeah. It's interesting learning more about Nick. Yeah.
I'm very cheap. So the rest of this question, it's even worse when you consider that any significant change to the combat system is really tricky to make without breaking compatibility. So they can only add new content, and then in brackets, Pokemon/moves/types, and maybe change how they work, but it's more complicated to remove content from the game entirely because it would screw up compatibility. Yeah, that's true. The decision to stop compatibility is, in my opinion, a good one. They had to make at some point, and the negative reactions mostly come from the fact that they kept past compatibility for so long. I think, yeah, pretty much spot on. But also, this is like the first, other than Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and
Mm.
Let's Go Eevee, which only had the capacity for the base 151 Pokemon and some of their Alolan evolutions.
And I feel like they were a special case because they were also like, they had Go mechanics in there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it's sort of its own kind of thing off on the side.
But even, yeah, but you look at those games and, these are, it's a new platform that Pokemon has not been on in this form before. They've had the Pokemon like battle arena games
Mm.
but they haven't had a big open world Pokemon game like this before. And think about the number of models and animations, and
Yeah.
just the amount of work required to get I think it's over 800 Pokemon in something like that. And maybe over the next few console generations of the Pokemon games, we might see a reintroduction of the old generations. We probably won't see the capacity to move Pokemon across from your Game Boy games, but I think we will eventually see those Pokemon re-enter the Pokedex. But yeah, I don't know. It's quite a complicated problem, and I see why people are annoyed. But I think I agree with Fuwasan in that y'all are babies. No, it's basically, yeah. I think that people are making a bigger deal out of this than it really needs to be. But I think a big part of this also comes from the emotional attachment people have to their Pokemon.
Yeah.
For for some portion of players, they have carried the same Pokemon through like 15 years of games.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Never even considered that a thing.
Yeah. So I can get where they're coming from. But hey, you know what? It's time to let it go. Let that Pokemon die.
Take that cartridge that is on.
Pets die. All right.
Bury it outside. The cartridge.
Yeah. You know what? Give it a nice service.
Yep.
Give yourself a moment of silence. Mourn for a while, but let it die.
Yep. Yep.
Anybody
And then
wanna-
in several years, when they do have compatibility back, you're gonna have to
you
dig
dig that
up.
out. And all right. Here's another question. Unless anybody else wants to read one. This is from Captain K, I think CPTNK. He says, "Hi guys, love the podcast. Thank you. I recently started to listen to your podcast while working and got up to episode 88 on Spotify. On the episode just before that called The Lunch Eat Flavor,
Oh, yep. Yep.
classic.
Classic lunch.
Classic
episode.
Yep. Someone mentioned that ants do not sleep. Just wanted to let you guys know that ants do actually sleep. The worker ants have microsleep patterns which lead to up to multiple hours a day, while their queens have a somewhat regular sleep schedule and sleep roughly 8 hours a day. Keep up the awesome work and have a nice day." So there you go.
Feel like
Citation
that's-
needed.
I feel
but
like that's something Nick would have claimed that. ants
I
don't
get
sleep.
I get the feeling.
Yeah.
Nick's
that does sound like something I would have said. I need to read into that then.
microsleep.
Well, ants sleeping in
Mm.
general,
Okay.
because I was under the assumption that ants didn't sleep.
Did you hear about this Da Vinci sleep cycle type thing where
Is it-
you stay up for 2 hours and then sleep every 15 minutes?
I've heard of people. I think I've heard of a similar thing, and I've heard of people trying it, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, you like basically like are awake for ages, but you're not really in a state eventually that you can concentrate on doing anything."
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so there was a guy I vaguely knew in Australia called Mark Serrels. He was also an editor for Kotaku in Australia, and he tried doing I think it was called like the Iron Man sleep schedule or some sort of crazy named sleep schedule.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was like you stay up for 6 hours and you sleep for 15 or 20 minutes or something like that, or an hour or something. Your day was divided up into like 4 chunks,
Mhm.
separated by sleep. But the intent was that you only had to sleep 4 hours a day,
Mm.
something like that. And it was, and he was keeping a blog basically of it, and he just sort of spiraled out of sanity.
That's so cool.
And it became like slowly incapable of really
Yeah.
doing anything.
Yeah.
And he had a child.
Oh no.
and so he was, I think part of that was like, yeah, he was just getting very, very, very sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is such a cool thing that you can basically be awake and functioning, but just unable to really do much.
Oh, super cool, Blake.
You can sit there. you can sit there and just be like, "Yeah, what am I doing?" And then, oh,
That sounds
it's time for a
awesome.
nap. Okay.
I'm not cool with that.
No, okay, maybe okay. That itself is not cool. I think what I'm trying to say is that
It's cool how you can like get to a point where you can't like operate heavy machinery.
I think what I'm saying is that it's cool that people are trying to hack their like biology that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
people. This is just
or hacking sleep to be like, wouldn't it be? I need to figure out a cheat
Mm.
to like not really sleep and get the most done and be completely functional.
It's called meth.
It's completely functional.
Well, to a degree. Yeah, no, I mean, people have done this sort of stuff for thousands of years, right? They do weird experiments on themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
They taste different mushrooms to see what happens, that sort of
Yep.
thing. So, I think that we default to certain patterns for a reason. One interesting thing I'd heard about. So there was people say you're meant to sleep 8 hours a day or whatever.
Mhm.
But in Scandinavian countries and stuff like that, there are seasonally nights that go for much longer.
Mhm.
And so you can't just sleep by how the sun works. So there's a sleep pattern thing where like you sleep for 4 hours and then you wake up for like half an hour or an hour in the middle of the night and you fall back asleep. And apparently this is like the actual natural sleep pattern.
I heard the same thing.
Which I find
when
interesting.
you didn't have all this artificial light around,
Yes.
you would wake up sort of midnight.
Yeah, and you would actually stay up for a little bit. Just
Yeah.
Maybe you would not read, but you would
light a candle.
yeah, maybe light a candle or maybe spend some time with your wife. But it was just like there was a period in the middle of the night where you were awake, and that was just a thing that happened.
Mm.
But that seems to as like artificial light and
Yeah.
alarm clocks and
Yeah.
work schedules have become more and more rigid.
There's this whole thing about like blue light as well.
Oh yes,
Like being on a tablet or a phone in bed,
Mhm.
like the light will trick your brain into thinking that it's still daytime.
Yep.
No, don't sleep.
and it messes with your circadian rhythms.
Yeah, yeah. There was a while I was like, some of the best sleep I've had is when in my old apartment I had those big blackout curtains,
Mhm.
and I used to just black out my whole apartment like completely. It was bloody great
Yeah.
sleep in pitch
Yes.
blackness.
absolutely.
The type of blackness where you open your eyes and you can't really tell the difference between open and closed eyes.
So
Yep.
I have a related story. My first ever work trip, I went from Australia to Sweden,
Mhm.
and there were delays with the flights because there are storms over Heathrow Airport, and so instead of landing in Heathrow like we were meant to for a transfer, we ended up landing in Amsterdam, staying on the tarmac for 3 hours, and then flying back to Heathrow. By
Mhm.
which point, I missed my connecting flight.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying in the airport for like 9 hours trying to get onto another flight.
Oh god.
At this point, I think I was about 29 hours in without sleeping.
Whoa. Holy
Like
shit.
I can't sleep on planes.
Yeah.
And this was my first ever work trip. and
Yeah.
So I was also just filled with
Yeah,
nerves
yeah.
and anxiety. And so then I finally managed to get on to. I was like 13th or 14th in line to get on this small flight to Sweden, which was my ultimate destination.
Mhm.
And it was a flight to Stockholm, and then from Stockholm to Malmo. And so I managed to get on this flight. A very, very nice lady at the airport talked to someone else at the airport and got me a free hotel room to sleep for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I got about 2 hours of sleep, took a shower, got onto my next connecting flight,
Mm.
and I arrived in Sweden the morning of the thing I had to go to. I was meant to have arrived 12 or 13 hours earlier and had like a good night's sleep in the hotel.
Oh man.
I had to go through this big like games presentation day thing, like playing through demos, interviewing people on 2 hours of sleep out of about 40 hours by this point.
Whoa.
And then I went back to my hotel room, had about an hour of sleep before dinner, had this big dinner where I had some wine, and I don't know if you've ever been that tired, but like any alcohol hits you real hard. So I went through this dinner, and then I remember very little from this
Wow.
part of the
That's
trip.
incredible.
Went back to my hotel room and went to sleep with those blackout curtains. And I woke up. I don't know what time it was when I woke up. And I went downstairs. I was meant to like check out that day, and so I went to the hotel. And I talked to the concierge, and he's like, "Great, so you just gotta pay for the extra night in the hotel room."
Wow.
And I was like, "What?" And I thought, "Oh my god, did I sleep an entire day cycle?"
Mm.
And I was like, I didn't have a credit card because I was like 18 and
Yeah.
and it was my first work trip, and I'm just like don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the publisher was meant to have paid for this trip or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like freaking out because I'm like, I don't have any way of paying for this. And they're like, oh, do you want me to just charge it to the credit card that the room was originally charged to? I was like, yes.
Wow.
And it turns out I didn't sleep through a day, but I thought I had because I looked at my watch and the date hadn't adjusted for the date. I was working on Australian time.
Oh, right.
And I was in Sweden, and it was just like
How many
hours
hours did you end up sleeping then?
Oh, it's just like probably like 12 hours or something like that.
yeah,
But nothing crazy. But it was
A whole day would have been like, wow.
there was genuinely because of the blackout curtains,
Yeah.
because I hadn't slept in about I slept like 3 hours in about
Yeah.
probably about 50 or something like by the
Wow.
time I actually went to bed. I had no idea what was going
Oh
on.
my God.
Probably one of the scariest moments of my life, thinking I was going to a Swedish prison.
That you worrying that you'd slept too much.
But also then I also thought, oh, that means I've also missed my flight home.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Wow.
It was that was the roughest work trip I've ever
That's
done.
insane.
And that was the
I don't
first
even
one.
know how you could have been functioning at that like show. Like-
you know what's really crazy is so we were playing a game that never came out. It came out on PC. It was called World in Conflict.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
yeah, it did come out. I think I have that.
yeah. It's a solid
Yeah.
tactical game.
Yeah.
And they were making it for consoles at the time.
Oh right.
It never came out on consoles.
Uh,
I played through the demo. I beat the thing before anybody else did.
Whoa.
There were like 10 of the journalists
Yeah.
there, and I beat it before anybody else. And I was like, just because I wanted to just sit back and relax.
wow.
I was so out of it that I was just on
Man.
autopilot, but I was still pretty good at gaming.
That's good. Wow. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, never get that tired. It's the worst.
Mhm. I try not to.
Mm.
I'm really strict on my sleep.
Did you ever do
Patterns.
all nighters and stuff in like high school or
You
uni?
know, the most craziest thing would be studying at MDS and just crunch to get that reel out.
Yeah.
And
I
it was the thing
remember.
of like you'd walk into school, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning. You'd
Yeah.
leave at maybe 9. You'd go home. You'd work on this thing for another 4 hours. Do
Yeah.
the same thing for like 10 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being so tired towards the end of like MDS and
Yeah.
just being like trying to like sleep for an hour and just being like, oh my God, a whole hour.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Wow.
I remember I picked up a freelancing gig
Yeah.
while I was doing that as
Oh.
well. And my brother, he was with me. But it was pretty much me just doing this thing.
Yeah.
And he was just there to make sure I was okay.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man.
I do have a question, I think, sort of memorized. Not memorized entirely, but I'll try to paraphrase it.
Hit me.
So it was something along the lines of this gentleman listened to like Jonathan speak about the last Path of Exile patch that came out, and he was wondering if we considered doing like highly produced content as well.
Like as a
For-
podcast?
for this podcast like and
You mean
I-
like talks? Like
talks, just something a little more produced.
yeah,
I guess
Interesting.
I've
I
certainly
stuff,
haven't considered
right?
it.
Haven't you done?
done
like-
stuff, Blake. Yeah, yeah, I've done stuff.
I've heard you've done stuff.
Well, I know Nick's not cool with it, but I've
You know what? I'd be open to it.
Yeah.
It just really depends on like the workload involved
yeah.
because we all have full-time jobs.
Yeah. So I've thought of doing stuff as well. But it's mainly more just to like put a point across.
Mm.
Like just to explain why I'm so obsessed with like visuals in video games.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think that's like I don't have a good way of communicating that right now.
Okay. So you want is that something you'd like to do? You
Yeah,
want-
of course.
So basically,
I've
like
thought of
the
doing-
Severn visuals in video games episode.
It would be like a YouTube thing, I guess.
Yeah, I was
Mm.
thinking it
You know,
would
a
have
lot
to
of
be
visuals attached.
visual as well. Like you couldn't really.
Yeah,
Good
not a
audio.
podcast. It would just be
I
me and a
love
microphone.
a pure audio talk on visuals
Yeah.
in video games.
Yeah,
You
that would be
just-
pretty
yeah.
good.
You just click here and click here, and then.
Okay, are you picturing an edge loop? Think about an edge loop. Okay, now, think about a rasterized texture. If it's after the rasterization.
But yeah, in terms of like content for our podcast, I don't know. I don't think we have time for it.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I like getting guests and I like interviewing people.
I mean,
Um,
I would like if any of us ever did any other talks at NZGDC
Mm.
to put it up on
oh, sure.
our thing. You did a talk that I think it was linked on our
It may have been.
yeah,
It was.
but the audio was so shocking.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I didn't.
I don't know
really
what they
didn't
did
like
with that. It sounded like you were like underwater. It was insane, and like every little bump on, I guess the microphone or something. I think
There
it
was no
on
microphone.
a table.
Yeah.
There was no
Wasn't
microphone.
there?
Well, there was on the camera, but
Right.
I didn't have a microphone.
Yeah.
And when the kicker is the next year they had everyone on microphones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we ever do, if any of us ever do a talk, we should record it separately on something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Blake,
can
I'm
sync it up to
I'm
video.
keen on seeing what you'd talk about
I don't
You know,
know what I'd talk
at a
I don't know
NZGDC.
what the hell I'd talk about.
Goals in video games.
Why have them?
Yeah, that's basically that would be the thesis.
We
of your
don't need
talk.
them.
Yeah, goals in video games. Get rid of them. All right, we're out of time. We'll be back in a couple weeks. We're probably gonna try and answer more questions next week.
I would have played some of Control. I'll have something to talk about.
If we actually, I'm looking at the calendar now. We might not actually be back in a couple weeks, depending because Path of Exile Blight launches
Right.
in a couple of weeks.
Have
So
we announced it?
yes,
You were just worried. Oh, shit.
I mean,
Nick was telling me, this is for listeners. Nick is very, very proud of his work on
Blight?
this last league.
man.
He was telling me.
Well, okay,
some
I
stuff.
wrote
He was
I
like,
wrote and directed the NPC, and I think she turned out.
Oh,
pretty
there were some ideas that you said were
yes,
in there that you're
yeah.
like, this was my idea, this was my idea, this was my idea.
good. I did touch upon a lot of elements in
Yep,
this league in
yep.
terms of like the creative theming and stuff. So I was pretty pleased with how things are
Yep.
coming out. We'll see if players like it.
Cool.
Best league.
Note, I don't think I have much to do with the mechanics this league. Just FYI.
Just the writing.
Mostly the writing and the theme, like the fungal stuff.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll probably talk about that on the next episode, which is whenever. Okay. Love you. Bye. Oh wait, before I go, YouTube.com/FriendSeatCast. That's it.
I knew we were missing something.
No, I mean you know what? You've heard all of this spiel before, probably.
we're on the social medias.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just look us
Yeah.
up. Just
Google.
Google Friend Seat Gamer. See what comes up. It might not be us, but
Bing
click
it.
right it.
No, it'll be a reviewing gaming chairs podcast. Probably.
Yeah, that sounds good. Listen to that one for once. Let us know how
For
it is.
once.
Yeah, just one time.
For once in your life.
Yeah, no, you listen to one episode of the game seat review, and then you let us know how that is.
Let us know how they compare to us.
Yeah, and you can let us know on frontseatgamer.wordpress.com. That's it. Okay, bye.
Mine's only like
Oh, you use your social security number for all sorts of shit in the U.S. It's much more prevalent than you'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
they're
like,
always talking about it in
you
movies.
use it- you use it for stuff like signing up to get a phone. You know,
Wow,
like-
really?
Yeah, yeah. It's an identification system.
Yeah.
and so it's used all the time.
But like I mean IID is the same. Like you're given that at birth.
what?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
So I'm pretty sure it's on my birth certificate.
no,
Wait, what?
no, it isn't, Blake.
You're sure you're supposed to ask me then.
There's a number on my birth certificate that I'm like, this is my
It's probably your parents' phone number, or like the phone number of the hospital. It's not your IRD number.
Is it your ID number?
I'm pretty sure. I've got to find
It's like
it.
09.
Yeah. It's pretty small for like how many people live in New Zealand.
Yes.
It's
No,
not.
I'm pretty sure it's on there.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's been a while since I've looked at my birth certificate, so I don't know.
You might be right, but I would be shocked because in Australia you get the equivalent is the tax file number,
Yeah.
and you have to apply for
But
one.
like, I don't remember applying for an IID number when I started working. I remember.
Your parents probably did it for you. My parent,
Uh,
my mom
Yeah,
applied
right.
for my IR,
Maybe.
my tax file number.
could be.
You're not giving it at birth. Well,
Yes,
what I-
another one for us to collect taxes from.
Well, I mean,
you just gotta wait.
yeah,
18
like,
years
yeah.
on this guy.
I mean, that's an exact.
You will be an earner.
Yes, that's exactly what I imagine they do.
There's like a ball.
100%. Like a Mr. Burns guy.
standing there
We've
outside
got
of every birthing
Yeah.
room. He's like, yes, another one.
Yeah, and they're basically stamping you with a barcode and be like, all right, here's another cog for the fire.
Clog for the fire.
Yeah.
Hey Blake, how does business work? If you could just say that right into the microphone?
Business work?
Explain how you think business works.
I have no idea. I don't know how anything works.
Okay, so explain. What do you mean when you say another cog for the fire? What do you mean by that?
Nick, you ever heard of a joke?
No, what's that?
That's just what I said was a cog for the fire.
I've heard that jokes are meant to make you laugh.
Not mine. Mine usually don't.
right. Yeah, as our listeners know.
Yeah, very well.
All right. No.